Okay, hello everybody, and welcome again to today's own VoltaGo OpenONU Go call. Thanks for joining. The call is public and recorded. Will be shared live on YouTube, so please be mindful of the comments you make and the information you share. Today, it's the last one before the code freeze, so I'd like to have a discussion on the few open points that we have and on the stories that we still have open. So with that, I'll kick it off with the software update. I know is in flight. There's been many patches that have been merged. Tail has some support in BBSim, but there's still some minor fixes that need to be done. And Hardik has a test. So why don't we take it on? Maybe Tail, you can give us an update on the BBSim implementation and what's the work with that.
Yeah, so BBSim now can respond to the software update messages, and it goes through the entire sequence of getting the download started, the download section, responding to those when it's needed. And then once we get the end download message, we do a little bit of validation, making sure that the expected section are the same as the received one, and we keep track of the entity ID that for the software image that is active and committed at the moment. What is still missing that I'm going to implement today is that once we receive the OMCI activate image message, we need to restart the ONU so that we can report back to the adapter that the new software image is active, and at that point the adapter will commit that image. Is there any question or comment on what the plan is and if there is any difference with what it should be?
Well, Matteo, I think the step that you mentioned is perhaps still not sufficient. So we still have this Jira vol 3880, which is still open, and it deals with the handling of the active and commit state of both entities. I think here an according update or correction is needed as well. And just for information, there's some kind of more general feature request. This is vol 3858, which concerns the general support of the software upgrade within BBSim. So I would say this is on the way with all the work that you have already done for that. And yeah, just the remark that finally, if it's really working, then that can be set to done as well.
Sorry, Michael, can you repeat the two Jiras that you mentioned?
So the one that is really open is the 3880.
Okay.
And the general one is the 3858.
So regarding 3880, if I understood things correctly, the issue was that BBSim was responding to both get software image request, reporting both images as committed and active, while only one of the two will be ideally will be active and committed. So what basically happens as of now is that when we start with BBSIM, we report the image as with entity ID 0 as active and committed, and image with entity ID 1 as not active, as not committed. Is that correct, or
I haven't checked. Yeah, that is theoretically correct, but I haven't checked if the current state is really that way that you describe now. So as an initial state, your assumption is correct, but in practical, I still have seen recently some traces indicating that this is not that state that BBSIM is delivering, but you know, we have to look in detail because of different BBSIM versions we are currently using. So I think, yeah, I can check.
Yeah, so that fix is not merged in master yet. Is in the same image for the software upload and download.
So you mean in your personal GitHub image?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is not the main question of this Jira.
I shared some logs just 5 minutes ago. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Now you can proceed.
Oh, no, I was just saying I shared some logs via email just before the call.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen that yet.
But
so
yeah, okay,
we can check.
Yeah, we can take this offline.
Okay, Michael, from your point of view, at least for this initial implementation, all the patches are in. The last one was the Volta libgo that we just submitted. OMCI libgo, sorry.
Yeah, OMCI libgo, this was also just merged before the meeting, yes. So,
and from your point of view, except any bugs that we might find, but the functionality is there.
Yes, the functionality is there, and there are different ways to handle, for instance, the limitations of the OMSI simulator.
Okay.
So from my point of view, that should be, code should be okay.
Okay. Great, perfect. And Hardik, how's the test coming up? We don't have Hardik. Sorry, that's my bad. He's in another meeting. He might join after he finishes that one. Maybe we can come back to this. But I think he tested it.
But I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Mike, because we were talking about the test just before the meeting on Slack. So either me or Mike can probably.
Sorry, I did not understand the last sentence from Matteo.
Oh, and that we were talking with Hardik about the test before the meeting, and he has he has a first implementation that he was running, but I think there is some work that still need to be done on the test because he was using an image of BBSIM that didn't have the changes, and the test was successful. So we need to check what happened there and why the test is successful.
Okay.
So I will say that the framework for the test is there. We just need to find a better way to validate that the image has actually been downloaded to the device.
Okay, and I also will create a new story for this kind of test, because with the last delivery I have done in the code, it is possible to make some further tests concerning the upgrade. So also a failed test. So I write a new story for that.
Okay, there were a couple of things that I was discussing with Theo yesterday, Michael. One is that right now, I think in the download, if you get a 404, you actually download the file related to the 404. Is that part of your incremental implementation that you have done here? I might have missed that.
Might be, yes. I'm not really sure that what you are referring to with 404, but I have seen that if I try to download from BBSim a file that does not exist in the previous version, some strangely short file was accepted, and I have added some additional means there to prevent that, to check if the file really exists first. And so
okay, yeah, that is exactly 404 is the HTTP status for not found. Mm-hmm. But the web server will also basically return an HTML file that says not found, and that is probably what you're downloading.
Yeah, I guess.
The other thing that I wanted to bring up was that I'm okay having for now the temporary code that you have in there, Michael, to do the testing. That based on this, the path of the directory, it does some other type of implementation with a testing file. But before the release, when the test from Hardik is done and we know it works with the BBSim implementation from Theo, we should remove that code. Is that okay?
It's no problem in my point of view.
Okay.
I would have said it can also be, and it could also stay in the code because it's not enabled by a flag. But yeah, if you want, we can remove that with the time point when we know that it's really working consistently with BBSim.
Okay. Okay. Great, perfect. Anything else on the update, on the ONU image update? Or new image update? Oh, Hardik, you joined. Anything to add?
Yes. So yeah, regarding the test, sorry, I missed what all you guys have discussed. So with the current, whatever is there in the latest of master, the test case is getting passed with the status that I can check through the voltctl command for image, and even the sanity is getting passed. But yes, I understand there are still some changes from Theo which is not there. So I'm not sure what else I can put in, what more verifications. So I think one such is what just Theo has suggested, to check through the BBSim CTL command. If there is anything else, because the current whatever we have, right? So there's not really much things that I can check through the test case. So I think first verification has to be manual, and then we can see what all we can add in the test case to verify that. So,
okay,
I'm open to suggestions, what all I can add.
Okay, let's take that offline. It can be a discussion between you, Michael, and Theo on what's the best to check for now. Okay. Michael, you were saying something?
Yeah, also only for completeness, thanks to Chip, who made a fast delivery for the for the OMSI-lib with the latest patch. I think the Jira report is still open or in progress or something like that. That can be closed, Chip. So it's vol 3884. I noticed that because I took the latest version of the OMSI-lib with in my latest patch now.
You said 3884.
Yes.
Okay.
Andrea's fast.
It's done. It's done. Okay. Good. Something else on the image? Okay. Then if not, Grish, I think the PM configs are done except for this unit displayed in VoltCTL, but we're going to do post 2.7, right?
Yeah.
There was yeah, go ahead.
I mean, just for the information to others, I mean, it's, I think Torsten also mentioned this, the default frequency and the group frequency, it doesn't display the unit. I got details from David on the required changes to be done in VoltCTL, but they are not simple, and there are some significant changes required there. So I would like this to be pushed to the next release.
Okay. There was also an email thread from Paul that was asking in relationship to read the current values capability. Is that something we have or not?
No, it's only the L2 PM counters are 15-minute interval counters. I think Paul was asking to read the current values. We don't have that as of today.
Okay.
We need to plan that for the next release.
So you said that's not going to be in 2.7. We can definitely add that to our document. Let me make a note of this. And this is the same that it's not the same as the fetch ONU, because this tells you what counters the ONU is capable of pushing out. And this tells you what, except of those counters that the ONU is capable of, what's the current value.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Paul, I think you're on the call. Any update, anything you want to ask on this?
Well, just we need to discuss for the current values how they are to be treated if they are pushed in what manner to the Kafka bus. It's a separate topic for current data, because they are expected not to be a regular flow of them, because they're only required for temporary debugging issues and not for the whole network, probably at most for one tree that one is seeing an issue with and wants to debug the behavior of that tree for maybe half an hour and sitting in front of the screen. So I don't have a very clear view yet how this is to be pushed outside.
I think something on the Kafka bus can be a good way of doing so, but not. It depends on the thoughts from everybody else. But in any case, this is not going to be in the 2.7 release, all right, Girish?
No, this is not going to be 2.7.
Okay. So I think we do have a little bit of time. Paul, if you do have some suggestion on how to publish those counters immediately, like those get counters immediately, I'm all open to hearing them.
Well, I think the most simple way of doing it would be to include them in the same Kafka message, having the PM plus the current. So it's the easiest would be a no distinction for the process to fetching them, and having it simply as an additional data in the existing messages. So just blow up the volume, which would be good to show that it works, but probably not a good idea for a real network to have it all the time. But it would be the most easy way to see that the distinction works, and you see something that changes every time you pull, you see a modification. While if you pull the same PM data values, they won't change, but every 15 minutes only. That is why this capability of changing the polling frequency for the PM data as such is not very sensible, because the PM data counters won't change, but every 15 minutes.
Okay, but and also this is only turned on request. So even if the data is a lot, I mean, it's okay, I think.
You know, there are bounds to what can be done. I would say to, you know, have require. So Paul, is it okay just to, you know, have a CLI command that fetches the current counter, or is that what you want?
For day one, certainly. At a later point in time, this is definitely the current values are the things that the ops people want to see. If they have somebody on the phone that complains that their terminal doesn't connect to the network, so they need to see, well, guy sees a green diode on his routing device. It says my Ethernet link is up, and a couple of seconds later you should see the connections as a DHCP query or a PPPoE, a PuTTY that goes into the network, and those will only be represented in the current values. So the guy on the phone will like to see that more or less immediately.
Okay.
Probably those guys in the first line won't check via CLI. They won't be able to do so. But certainly enough to show the capability, you would start with the CLI.
Yeah, got the point. So let's put down the requirements and let's plan for the next release.
Okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
Sounds reasonable.
The default MCI timeout is it's done, right, Girish?
Yes. Before that, I had another point. Paul also mentioned that he would like to have the ANIG test implemented to fetch various, you know, the laser bias current, you know, the TXRX power level that are derived from the ANIG test response. So that is also something that we need to plan for the next release.
Okay.
Chip, Chip, probably this is some heads up for you. I checked the OMCI libgo and it doesn't have the ANIG test request response capability as of now. With your help, probably we might need to add this capability in OMCI libgo if you are to implement this. You know, just a heads up.
Sure. So the default timeout, that's done, Girish, right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Just one remark to the Andrea.
Go ahead, Michael.
Girish. One one remark to the Baytrick implementation and perhaps also documentation. Yeah, Girish patch was submitted quite early, so I made some comments after the submit. So perhaps Girish can have a look at my comments there. It mainly refers to the documentation he has done there. So maybe there can be some improvement for that. So have a look at the comments.
Let me look at that, Mikhail, and let me submit the
Yeah.
patch today. I think I might have missed that.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
Okay. The flow delete and add issue for the AT&T workflow, we are done with that. What's the status?
Not really done. I mean, I investigated the logs that Mikhail sent.
Okay.
The issue is the flows are arriving in order at the read-write core, and the read-write core also pushes them in order to the adapters.
Mm-hmm.
But the Go routines that, I mean, these flows are pushed via Go routines, and these Go routines themselves are not scheduled in order. So the flows are sometimes occasionally arriving out of order, you know, messing up everything. I don't have a solution. I mean, there are multiple ways that we could probably solve this. I don't want to get into solution mode right now, but it's certainly a problem, and more likely seen in certain kind of setups, probably the ones that Mikhail has, because we don't see this on our ports, but nevertheless, it's a problem, and we need to get to this in the next release.
Okay, let's not get into this at this point in time. The traffic descriptor also, let's not get into this. It's 2.8, so I don't want to get there for now. Same as the ME storage, so hold on. On the alarm side of things, Himani, we merged the patch on the OpenONU adapter Go, but there is still a patch that needs to go in, which has some change, some fixes. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, correct.
Okay, and the BBSIM implementation, I saw that Matteo had some comments on it, and you addressed those comments. Is that we will work through it?
Addressed the comments, but except one comment I need to discuss with Matteo.
Okay.
And I'm not sure why the build is not passing. I need to check for the BBC.
Okay, I'm gonna trigger hardware tests on this one with a +2. So if those pass, I'm just gonna go ahead and merge this. What was the comment on the Holger, on the version Holger? I don't think we're.
It was a release version.
Oh, okay. No, I think we can just keep it as is, not release for now. Okay. We're gonna release at the end of the. We're gonna release at the end of the month, so or whenever we feel comfortable in tagging this with the code freeze. So it's fine.
Okay.
Let's It's not. Let's not do that. Okay. So if this passes, given your 2+1s on this one, it's just the difference was just the version, so I can go ahead and merge it if it passes hardware test, which is great. And you take a look at the BBSIM one with Dale, okay?
Okay.
And audit configuration is done already done via the configuration via the Helm chart is done.
Yes.
And you have put in place the guarantee that the FSM is restarted upon reconciliation, right?
Yeah.
One thing that I forgot is that on the PM side, Holger, you mentioned that there was some stale etcd data in one of our chats.
Yes, especially during reconciling, executing the reconciling test suites. we see that they are hanging PM resources after the devices are deleted. And I already asked Girish in Slack if this could be related to the kind how the data will be deleted in the etcd. And I also wanted to ask Girish if it takes some pressure off. Do you mind if I try to fix this issue in deleting the PM data, or do you want to have a look at it first?
If you have the bandwidth, you can go ahead. But I'm unable to reproduce this, so I'm not sure if I'm replicating the exact procedure in the setup. So it's not really clear to me.
Actually, I simply brought up Volta in an ATT scenario, and then I executed the reconciling test case of Thorsten, which with the test keys which checks the reconciling from OptiFlow's pushed state, and there I can reproduce it 100%.
Oh yeah, probably I'm doing this test manually, and probably the timing is coming into effect, and I'm unable to reproduce this. Do you have the job somewhere? I mean, I could also download the logs and check.
Actually, it looks fine. The strange thing is that the deletion is done, and no error comes back, but the data are still present. And
could this be a transitional timing issue where we check etcd too fast?
No,
because the strongly consistent mechanism of etcd will take some time. Could that be a possibility?
I executed the test case several times in a row, and the data are accumulating in the etcd. They will never be deleted.
Oh, okay. Then maybe, yeah. If you have the bandwidth, please take a look at this one, Holger. That would be appreciated, and sync with Girish. We can treat it as a bug and fix it after code freeze. So it's not important to have it ready today.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks, Holger.
Thanks, Holger. Okay. This is done.
Yeah, I have created Jira for the testing on the actual setup, because I have done a testing only through the VBSIM.
Yes, that I think will go in after 2.7. I'm not sure we're gonna get the time to get this test in by 2.7. So I'm pretty sure that it's not gonna happen.
Okay. So Jira number is 3917. Just
okay. Thanks. Good. The reconciliation effort. That's all done. So both for the PMs, for the restarting the traffic, for the non-restarting the traffic and all of that, that's done, right?
Yeah, the tests are running except of the hanging data. And if this is solved, also the tests should be green.
Okay, great, perfect. Okay, the BBSIM requested functionality. There were new software update. We're working on it. I'm just going to take it out of here. The discard responses and some. There was also some chaos monkey stuff from Holger that was in 2.7, but I moved it out.
You mean the one regarding not answering on
yes.
OMCI requests, right?
Yes. That I just said that's not for today. It's not for this release. I moved it out. We can take it. We can take it on in the next one. Okay.
Yeah.
On the testing side, Thorsten, what's the status of the PM counter test?
Oh, We don't want to talk about the test of PM counter test because the progress is very slow due to the fact we try to keep our pipelines green. And as already mentioned in this meeting, it's still not green. It's deep red. And we found some issues. Holger and Michael made some patches, and hopefully it will become greener the next days. And maybe we found the root cause of the PM data hanging resources already discussed with Girish and Holger above. And but every time I have for PM data, I use it, but I think we need 2 or 3 days in a row only for this issue. It's very complex and it's not so easy, but I'm on the way.
Okay, good. That is fine. I
probably to calm down our colleagues from DT. That's only issues not affecting the traffic, but to clear up some data in the persistent memory. So it is not actually comparing the functionality. Only some cleanup issues, not serious issues.
And also we will get those fixed by the release.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's an issue. If it comes down, we can discuss putting it as a known issue, but I think we have enough time to get this fixed. It's probably going to be a minor thing in my opinion. The timestamp on the Kafka bus, I have not had the time. I just said to postpone it. They prints the interval in second, but I just completely
that's the same one that David was asking.
Oh, okay. Clear and simple. But what is the information we put on the Kafka bus? Do we put it in? What's the? We don't put the unit
on the Kafka bus. It's I think it's nanoseconds, Unix nano.
Okay, so this is just the CLI.
I think so.
Which is fine, whatever.
I'm not sure it's Unix seconds or nanoseconds. Yeah, something.
I think you mentioned the seconds. Seconds as float with comma. Theoretically, but I've never seen a comma there.
I might have some sample. I'll check.
Yeah, the Kafka event header is in Unix nanoseconds, and the individual metrics within inside it are in float Unix seconds.
Okay, perfect. Great. The reconcile test with the TT, it's merged, so that's very good news. And the software update test, as we spoke about, is in progress. So before I open the floor to everybody to see if there are other things, I would like to understand these are the only 2 things that we have left on the 2.7 release. It seems to me that we still have to open here a bug for that etcd stuff. Girish and Holger, please do that. Open a bug for the PM counters, things that are missing and that was stale in etcd. Please add it here. This set get external value tests, I left it in, but I'm not sure we are going to get the test done. So I am going to leave it in for a few days and see where we are in terms of other types of tests that we are doing, and we can check what the bandwidth to achieve this is. Is there anything else that is missing that you guys are working on and is missing from from the 2.7 release. Oh, it is there. There we go.
Actually, that is the one. It is the one regarding the hanging TCD data. It was written by Thorsten.
Okay, so I just need to add it to the Volta 2.7 release. And Thorsten, I think do you have one for the testing of the PMs?
Which one do you mean? The hanging PM data resources?
No. This one is this one, but no, the one for the test that you're working on.
Yes, I have one. 3703.
Ah, okay, perfect. Great. Okay. What's this one? Can we close this one? It seems that we merged everything.
Yeah, I think that was meant for the general support of matrix and PM counters and was done by Girish, I would say.
Okay, great, perfect. Okay, so that kind of sums it up for 2.7. What is really we need to focus on at this point in time, and I would like Michael, Hardik, and Theo to work on if you can like regroup a little bit and make sure that we get to the last pieces here, and we get the test that Hardik is putting together in the implementation of BBSIM at least to a state where we feel comfortable that an initial implementation of this is working. I forgot to mention that I will create, or maybe I can ask also you, Michael. We can discuss this. Some documentation on the current status and capabilities of this to make sure we advertise the functionality properly. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, 3884 is closed. It's complete.
3884, you said?
Yeah. Yeah, you were getting in that section. I took a lightning hit here. It took me a while to cycle back up.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Done. Okay, anything else that you guys, so this is the first thing that I really want, we need to focus on. The rest, I think we are in pretty good shape, and Holger and Girish can take a look at the stale state in a TCD, so that would be very helpful. And also Himani and Theo, please do work on the BBSIM implementation here. Anything else that you guys want to bring up?
Thorsten still had a good look on our regression tests, and there are still some issues with the regression in the multi-OLT test environment. Also concerning, as I understood, in the field of ONU software reboot. My hope was that my latest patch should have solved that, but maybe that was still not enough or did not hit that problem, and so I still have to verify what's going on there.
One question: we are not seeing these issues in our hardware pods. Is this because it's a higher constellation? I kind of have a little bit of doubt about that. If you can
I'm
clarify.
not sure if you're doing multi-OLT tests in your hardware tests.
Yes, we are in Berlin. We have 2 OLTs, 2 ONUs and 1 and 4 ONUs the other.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it's related to the timing that is connected to BBSIM, because that's
Okay,
always a little bit different.
possible. Definitely
Yeah,
BBSIM is faster than an actual physical OLT.
Yeah.
But the current timeout is 10 seconds, right? That's a DV-SIM comes again after reboot, right?
Yeah, I'm not. That's not really the problem. Yeah, the problem is more the reaction to recording OMSI messages in most cases. Yeah, but anyway, we have to check, and I'll check that.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Anything else that anybody wants to bring up?
I think only the last comment is not correct. The reconcile is wrong there. Just a hint. We have 2 issues, reconcile and reboot. So is it? But hopefully the reconcile issue is solved with Holger's patch.
Actually, this reconcile hangs together or comes together with this hanging PM resources we already discussed. It's not actually, yeah, it's seen in the reconcile test, but it is not directly related to the reconciling.
Then let's fix that, and maybe this can also go away. The new soft reboot, I'd like to get to the bottom of that. If you maybe have some logs, we can also take a look at those.
The new soft reboot issue is with BBSIM or with the hardware?
We are not seeing it with hardware, it's just with BBSIM.
Okay, then it may be the issue that Girish pointed out yesterday, that BBSIM was erroneously resetting the ONU ID. And so it was when the ONU was coming back up and sending an indication to Volta, was sending it without the ONU ID.
Yeah, also that is possible.
Okay, let's maybe keep. Did you fix that, Theo?
I fixed it in well. That issue was not in master though. It was only in my patch. So if you were testing using master, it's probably not that one, because it was introduced in the ID validation, the gem port and allocation.
I think
patch.
the guys here are testing with master, so maybe it's not this one. Okay, any thoughts?
No, but I can take a look at the test. Not today, but after code freeze, I can take a look at the test and see if I can spot something in the BBSIM logs.
Perhaps perhaps you did not understand. I said I will take care of that, because I thought that my latest patches should have solved some sporadic issues, and these are sporadic issues we talk about here. So I guess it has something to do with at least the intended changes that I had. So, well, Matteo can have a look at it as well, but I don't think it's really related to BBSIM itself, but to the kind of processing in the ONU adapter.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Sounds good. Okay, anything else? Okay, then if not, thanks everybody. Let's strive to merge Himani's patch, this one, as soon as it passes, because that's really the only thing that is not bug related that we need today. And thanks for the great work. And please, let's work through these few issues that we found to make sure that we are ready for the release. Thanks, everybody. I'll talk to you on Slack and the next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Ciao.